hi. Let me tell you what I do. I have this list of topics I want to discuss with you, my friends, about what is ailing our society. So I don't have a makeup person. I don't even comb my hair. I hope things are kind of in place. This is a work shirt. Let's see. I'm supposed to sit on the tail. Make me look a little more presentable. Very uncomfortable though. And I look at these topics and I add to them all the time on my phone. And I don't have time for copious gobs of research. I just come to my little GoPro here and get on my computer, engage. And I do a little bit of research before I start yapping, and I try to keep it below 10 minutes. So I went to church Sunday, Power Church, fantastic teaching, Father's Day. It was about, fathers, obviously. But it went deeper than that. And I hope that I can go deeper than that too. It's hard to, there are things that I believe that go deeper than what they talked about on Sunday, the pastor there. And I kind of started an outline here, but I didn't even get to it. I could probably write the outline as I'm talking to you. But as we may or may not agree, I think most of the people watching this would agree that things are not looking good for society and that things are in a very poor state. And I wish it didn't fall back on politics, but it does. Once again, politics is nothing more than one's deeply held beliefs. So what you believe is what you will vote for. On a side note, if you don't take those things into account when you vote, I have anger towards you, because you need to do that. Otherwise, you are not a person of integrity. If you have integrity, you will vote for your deeply held beliefs, and politics is an indication of that. So, 1966, Time magazine, Is God Dead? Why would they print something like that? There's a whole big story about it. A quote: "It was a masterpiece of objectivity, a fresh breeze in an area often smothered in emotionalism." Blah, blah, blah. That was just a reader. So, excuse me, if that person believes that the issue of God or Creator or a benevolent giver of what is right and what is good in the universe is all about just emotionalism, they're sadly mistaken. So that's kind of where it got started, I think, the late 60s, the mid to late 60s. And then along comes no-fault divorce, making it easy to do away with what God has put together. Too easy. Obviously, people took advantage of it. Families started to fall apart. The nuclear family, which I never knew why it's called the nuclear family, but I'm just going to use that because it's a given. The nuclear family was dealt a major blow. I remember watching back in the day, even before Oprah, it was, what's the dude's name? The guy with gray hair. I don't remember. If you remember, tell me. Glasses, interviewing mother after mother after mother with kids. I don't need a father. I don't need a father. And the government started to take place of the father in these kids' lives. They would start paying the bills. And that's all they did, really. There was no raising the child. So when we get, well, let me not go there yet. No Fault Divorce, Time Magazine, Is God Dead? You can see a shift in societal norms. And that's when things start going downhill in America. Then you end up with fatherlessness, okay? How many times do you see it? If you're out and you have contact with people, it's either somebody's child or you talk to the actual child themselves, 17, 18, gets pregnant, and they get on welfare, and they start having kids by all these different fathers, and they're not even really fathers. Sperm donors would be the right term for that. And these kids, the mother has been taught by the political left that you don't need a father in the home. The government will help you. But because there's a philosophy of, is God dead? You extract God from the equation. And that removes a lot of right and wrong in the equation, in the circumstances. And lo and behold, the sperm donor splits. Long gone. Not even trying to take responsibility for his actions, leaving the mother and the government to raise the child. What an epidemic it has become in our society. Everything from educational performance. A number of studies show that children from mother-only families obtain fewer years of education and are far more likely to drop out of school than children from intact families. American children from intact families have a 21% chance of dropping out of high school, whereas children from broken families have a 46% chance. Criminal involvement. A British study found a direct statistical link between single parenthood and virtually every major type of crime, including mugging, violence against strangers, car theft, burglary, involvement with drugs, children having children. And here we go. the nuts and bolts of it: psychological, emotional well-being, mental and physical health. What society, government, the church doesn't include, most churches include in their accounting of why fatherlessness is so bad, is the fact that a child who has been rejected by a parent carries within them an internal wound, and they don't even know it. All they know is that they're angry, they're hurt, and they lash out. I see so many instances on the news. Almost every crime story of a male, especially a male, involved in a major crime, a horrendous crime, I almost guarantee you will be nailed with not having a father in the home, or, father doesn't necessarily have to be blood. A good stepdad goes a long way in raising a child. But they will always, even if they have a stepdad, they will always have this emotional hole in their spirit, in their soul, that will always questions like, was I not good enough? Why did he leave me? Why? And it didn't even come to the top of the mind. It's deep. It's deep in the soul, in the spirit. So many times, the church at large will talk about this subject, but they will say, God can heal you. And yes, he can. God can heal those wounds. But they refuse to go deeper. Most churches do this. They refuse to go deeper. And it requires a different way of seeing things to bring things to the light. That's one thing I was going to do and I forgot to do. See, I don't do my research. So sad. There are scriptures. God heals the brokenhearted, binds up their wounds. He's talking, when you talk brokenhearted, you're not talking physical wounds, you're talking spiritual and mental wounds, wouldn't you say? Bind up their wounds. That could be physical or mental, right? So being abandoned by a parent, unless you, not necessarily you, but unless this person who has been abandoned by a parent goes through a process of asking God to reveal the hidden things. There's another scripture. God will reveal to you something that needs to be addressed. Could be forgiveness. Could be something you don't even remember. All right, a suppressed memory. And this is not something that happens in a church service, but it's something that happens in an atmosphere of probably quiet. Someone who is well versed in helping this person coming out with these memories, and God reveals it to you. I guarantee it. It comes to your mind. What happened? The presence of bad things happening or the absence of good things happening are something that sticks with you for your whole life. God, this is 15 minutes long already. I'm sorry. And I guess that's kind of it. I could go deeper. I'm not as prepared. I'm never prepared. I just come down here and yap my flapper, or flap my yapper, whatever Chris Farley said. Shut your yapper. That's what it was. So society, you can't say conservatives, Republicans did this to society. You can only say that the left did this to society. And they do it on purpose because they want to divide and hurt us. They want to hurt American citizens. The left does. So I could go down another rabbit trail right there, but I'm not going to. Remember how to vote. Vote for people who believe, and heard it throughout the decades, family values and character. Good old-fashioned family values, a mother and father in the home. Vote for people that make it easier for an intact family to stay intact. That goes for taxes. That goes for everything. So remember how you vote. It's coming up. Vote for the God side, not for the evil side. God bless. Church of the Offended.